Hey, I'm going to do just a coloring technique, or how I color and kind of shade a little bit. This is the best close-up I could get. Let's see, it's really close up. But I'm just using the image that I used for the card that I showed yesterday. This is from the Sweet Herbs Stampin' Up set. It says it's from 1999. And then I used Stampin' Up Timber Brown to stamp my image with. And I'm going to make I'm just going to do the pots, and then I'm just going to do a really quick little, show you how I do the leaves. But for my pots, I'm going to use my Bic Market pens, and for the lightest color, I'm going to use Ocean View Blue, and then I'm going to go back in and do a little bit of shading with Misty Blue, and then with Deep Sea Blue. And then to do this shading here, I'm going to use, I'm going to use my Sharpies for that, and I'm going to use this gray and then this black. And then to do the leaves, I'm going to use my Stampin' Write markers. I'm going to use Sage Shadow, Wild Wasabi, and Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to do my pots first. And I go over like the whole thing with my lightest color first. I just kind of do these circular. I might just do a couple because it's kind of usually I don't do it this fast, but it would take me forever if I did it at the speed I usually do it at, so I don't want you to have to sit here all day and watch me color. And one thing it did it, that's why I wanted to mention it. One thing I've noticed is that even with the StazOn sometimes, it will blend the alcohol markers will blend out the stamping image, even if you use StazOn, but you can kind of go back and make it work to your advantage. And then I'm going to come over here and do this pot, because I'm going to be doing its leaves. I want it to kind of look complete. So, and when I'm going around like detail things, I kind of do these short little motions with my pen. That's my dishwasher back there. I hope it's not too loud. Okay. This is my second time doing the video. The other one was way too long, but while I was doing it, it was totally awesome. Totally missed out on my craft-a-lanch of everything falling off my desk because I had it all precariously perched in this big long column of craziness. It was very, very funny. It's a craft-a-lanch! I didn't color in door, Francis. Okay, so I can make that look cohesive there. And I'm going to let this kind of dry. So I'm going to move on to doing the shading around these pots. And I kind of let the image show me where the shading should be. So they have all of this shading already marked for me, so it's super simple. So I'm going to come in with my gray. Now I don't just color where the shading is. A lot of the time I'll make it bigger, and then I'll use where they actually have this shading for my darkest color. Can't see because I'm a lefty. Sorry. You have no idea what I'm talking about, dude. Sorry. And if you make a mistake, you can cover it up with your shading. Okay. That's a big shade, isn't it? So all coming this way. And then I'm going to, this one's just a short little guy. So this would indicate that because this shadow is so long, that the sun would be like way over here. So the shadow on this one would be longer. If like you would have to bring it out further than what it's indicating, and you would have to do a little bit of extra shading on this pot because this pot's in front of it on this side as well as that side. But I'm not doing that pot, so here's what we got. And I'm going to get the base color on my leaves so that I can come back and do that. I kind of do that so that you know, I'm certain that they're dry and I'm not going to be ruining the paper by going over it again when the ink is wet and then ruining the fibers of the paper. I hate that. I hate that because I like this paper. It's paper. I get this paper at Michael's. It's like the ones that go on sale for like you know, you can get a pack or like 4 packs for $10 or whatever when it goes on sale. And then usually when I color these guys, I just kind of do this to get some color in there. My daughter, Mackenzie, calls this scribble scrabble. You're scribble scrabbling. Uh-oh. Somebody's come to the house, or near my house, and the dogs do not like it. Or there's another dog out there. They don't like that either. Okay, so I got that one done. Now I'm going to go back and do some shading on my pots. So I'm going to come in with this next darkest shade, which is the misty blue. And I'm going to go over the shading that's already in the image. So I'm just going to... And the pot is going to have... The rim is going to have some shading as well. So go with that. Ah. Okay. And then I'm going to come back in and do the shading on the ground with black. And that, like I said, is just going to be closest to the pot. In a little bitty area. And you kind of just do that little bitty motion, and it's not going to be perfect. So it's not like you don't just, I don't just like follow the line of the pot. I kind of go out just a little bit so that it kind of looks realistic. Alrighty. And then I come in with my next darkest color on my leaf. And these you're going to have to give just a little bit of extra time to dry because these are not alcohol based, they're dye based, so it takes them a little bit longer to dry. So I kind of just go over it like that to make sure I'm okay. And I'm going to come in with the smaller tip of the pen, and the leaves also have the areas where the shading would be in the print. And for these little leaves, I might just do one color in the shading part because it looks pretty decent. But if you want just an added additional element of texture, light, then you could do the 3 even on the little details. I'm going to color this one in all the way just because I want you to see what one finished part of it would look like. So I'm going to color this. Trying to do it where you can still see and I can actually do a halfway decent job. Sorry. Being a lefty is a blessing and a curse. So I colored that in with creamy caramel. What color am I going to? I'm just going to do these yellow. That will bleed. So I'm going to come in with a, just like that. The ultra vivid yellow I have is Summer Sun. And I'm just going to do the little flowers in this color. And I'm just going to, it doesn't look perfect. It just needs to show some color to indicate that it's something different than greenery. There's that. I do not know what color bay flowers are, so I'm going to assume that they're yellow. And then to this color, because there's going to be shading on that too, I'm going to go in with my Close to Cocoa and add some shading to that in just a second. But I'm going to go in with my Darkest Blue on my pot. And just on the edge of where I put in that medium color, I'm going to go over it with this darker blue, just to kind of add a little bit of depth of shading. And I'm like going over that color. I'm going all the way to the edge of the pot, the darkest blue color, and then I'm kind of coming back over that medium color about halfway or so. Like that. Then I'm going to put this darkest color on just in the very centers of this medium shade for a little bit of extra depth. And then I'm going to come in with this Close to Cocoa and do a little bit of shading on the corner of the labels. zoom out and then I'll bring it up close to the camera so you can see it better. So that's what I did. And you won't be able to tell the contrast very well in the pot with the medium and the dark shade. You would only see it if it was super up close. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the leaves very well or not, but hopefully. So I hope that helps. That's what I do to shade. So and I'm gonna go and get there's some. I've kind of been reluctant to go and get these markers that my daughter really likes to use. They're Crayola markers, and they do really well. I've just been like, you don't use that on your stuff. That's like what little kids use. But when I help it in the art class at my daughter's school, they use those markers in there too, and the art teacher swears by them. So I'm going to go and get a pack, and then I'll do another tutorial on them when I get them. I'm going to try to get them today, and then I will let you know how they work too. So I will see you later. Bye.